Hiya Meddlers, and welcome to episode 10 of me making the game in Blender. Now we're going to continue where we left off in the last episode. We're going to continue with making the main menu. Now we've done quite a bit so far already. This is just to recap what we've done. Well, this is what it's going to look like when we've finished. We're producing, just spawning lots of different cubes. Blue ones, white ones, every type of one you want to think of really. And after, at the moment we're going to have like 60 spawning of each colour. And when those 60s are spawned, then the white and the blue cube, whole cube's going to turn up, as you can see there. Now last time we just concentrated on what the cubes are going to do before they spawn into the level. We're going to say they're going to jump and they're going to do all sorts. I'll show you that now. Going to the last episode, we went to the layer 2 here, and we looked at the properties of each of these cubes. This is what we put in last time for each of these cubes. So we're just telling it to basically make, when it collides with each other, just to generate another cube. If there's no collision, we would start jumping about, the cube start jumping about, and it would make its way to the character menu. So it would make sure it was colliding with the other cube, and vice versa. This cube make sure it's colliding with this one. So when these two collide, they send a message off to another place, and the message that is sent, it'll actually be sent to the spawn. And that's what we're going to do today. Is we're going to actually add information to the spawns, so then they'll actually spawn the many cubes into this level. And we're going to polish this up a little bit to make it look pretty then, in other words. Add some lighting and do all sorts of things. So sit back and enjoy the ride, and hope you have fun. Let's continue with the creation of the main menu. Right, now we want to spawn player menu and player menu 2 into this scene, into the layer 1 scene from layer 2. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use this empty, which we should have named Spawn1. So I'm going to get into the logic bricks of this, and we're going to add some properties to start with. We're going to add one called exists, so I put that in. Make an integer as well. Then we're going to add a limit. An integer, all integers, and make one called spawn. And that integer as well. Right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a property. So we want to say if this doesn't exist in the scene yet, then do something. So we're going to add in a property to say this. So we put if equals to, if exists equals to 0, that means it doesn't exist in my eyes. Put that, and I'll put in an edit object, add in the object here. So we put in the player menu in. The player menu is the wireframe ones you see come into the scene first. So we put player menu, which is that one there. We link that up, so it'll spawn that in first, the wire mesh. Secondly, we want to put a message in now. Let's put the message in. And that's going to be received from another object that sent the message out earlier, which will be from player menu. Player menu sent out a message, which I'll show you in layer 2. Player menu here, let me find it. Player menu here, when this collides with the white cube over here, the character cube, character menu I should say, that's what I've called it, the white cube, when it collides it sends a message out to spawn. So this will spawn out more wireframe meshes, and that's going to happen in here. So what we're going to do is we've received the message spawn, so that's what it's going to do. It's going to add more objects to the scene. So we're going to add in the and, like that, and then we're going to put in put in add object. So just do add object, then we'll put player menu. That's it. Put that in there. Now another thing I've got to put in, I jumped the gun here. We've got to say this first one property we put in, when we put exists, it doesn't exist. So when it spawns in the scene, I want to say it does. So what I'm going to do, logic might be wrong here, but it works for me anyway. I put in another property, so I'm going to say it's been assigned. So I put exist now. Now it exists. So I put that in there. Join it to the first one. As I don't want the wires crossing, I'm going to move it to the top by pressing this arrow here, and that's in place. So that's how it all should look so far. So we put in it doesn't exist in the first place, so I put exist. It doesn't, so I put 0. So if that is the case, then add this object player menu, which will be the wireframe. Then when it's been put in the scene, I want to say it exists, so I put a 1 in there. And the second one is put a spawn in. It receives a message spawn from the player menu block when it collides with the white block. So when it collides with one of those, it will spawn. It will add another object to the scene, which will be the wire mesh. So that will come out of this empty here. So that's that so far. Now we want to put in one of these in. So now we want to have another property. I'm going to put this equals spawn as well. We're going to connect that in the same one. Because what we're going to have is after all these blue wire mesh cubes come in, which is player menu, sorry, that's what it's called. When all the wire meshes come in, then I want that big blue filled in cube to come in bouncing in. So at the moment I don't want it to come bouncing in, so I'll set that at 0. I'll call that spawn. I could call it spawn blue cube, I just couldn't be bothered. I just call it spawn. So that's saying if that's 0, because that hasn't come in yet, and it's got the message spawn, then keep putting all those wire meshes in. Okay, now that's set up. Now this is the interesting one. When I add a limit to this now, because you want to have a limit, because you don't want the PC to crash. If it's trying to make too many cubes, it'll just slow down your computer, and it'll make it horrible. The frame rate would drop. I mean, I haven't actually tried to have infinite cubes yet. I don't dare to, so it might just break my PC, or should I say my Mac. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to limit the frames, not the frames. I'm going to limit the add objects to about 60. So we do that. The next thing we do, let me just have a look at this a minute. Add object. Oh yeah, another thing I've noticed, because of the limit, we haven't actually added anything to this limit yet. So checking for the limit to be reached, and this property is going to add a 1 to this property until it gets to 60. So at the moment I want to generate 60 blue cubes, wire mesh cubes. So to do that, to get to that point, it's never going to reach that because I haven't added the point yet. It's going to add to it. So we've got to add the property, and we're going to assign limit, not assign, add, because assign just put 1 in each, replace it with 1 each time. We don't want that to happen. We want it to add up a 1 each time. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, for instance, 1, like that. So we just add that into there as well, and that should be that one. Okay, it's done and dusted, that one. So now we're going to do is when the limit has been reached, then we want to spawn in the main character, which is instead of the wire mesh blue meshes that keep spawning. When it hits 60, they're going to stop spawning, and the big blue filled in character is going to turn up. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a property, and this is going to be assigned, put a 1. So we say, right, the character's turning up now, let's put a 1 in. That's to say it's there. So then we add the property to say, well, if that's been spawned, this is what we're going to tell it it's going to be spawned now. So we put spawn. So we say, right, the character's been spawned. So put if equals spawn equals 1, that means it's been spawned. Then we've got to tell them what to do. So if it's been spawned, we've got to add the character in. So we just literally just going to edit object, add, and we just do player menu 2, which is the thick cube, the filled in cube, whatever you want to call it. It's not a wire mesh anymore, it's the main one. So that's all we need to do for that. And should we give this a try? I don't know if this will work yet or not. Let's have a go. There we go. There's a blue cube coming in. It won't collide with anything. apart from the wall maybe. I don't know, will it fall through the wall? It's close with the wall, it's just stuck there at the moment. So what we've got to do now is we've got to have the white cube coming in. And we're going to code the white cube. Exactly the same format really. I'm not going to record this next bit, exactly the same settings for all these. Except I'm going to do exactly the same for the white cube. Sorry, I'm going to do it on Spawn2 here. I'm going to do the same code. The only bit that changes on the white one, Spawn2 over there, that one over there. The only thing that changes, instead of being player menu, it would be character menu. It would be put here, you put character menu there. And then you put down here, be character menu 2. It's the only difference for that one. So there's no point in me showing you all of it again because it's all here. So just repeat the step again. Just change those two property names, object names I should say. That's all we need to do, and that would be set up. Right, let's try this game out and see what happens. Okay, things fall in the background shouldn't happen. The white box isn't showing up properly, most probably because the lighting isn't sorted out. And the turquoise box isn't even duplicating as it should, it makes a collision. So the collision detection is dodgy here, most probably due to labelling of things. So if we go to the second layer, we're already on player menu. We look at this character menu. Zoom in on this so everyone can see this. Character menu. It's colliding with the wire mesh one. So look at the property of that. Put character menu M. That should be alright. Character menu M. That looks fine. Okay, let's change this one then. Must be this one. Player menu M. So we go to the player menu property, or say property material, which is the wire mesh. We look at this. It's got a full stop after it, so that could be the problem. So we take away the full stop. So it's player menu M. So it should be on the same now on the character menu. If you go back to this one, it says player collider player menu M. Then it'll add more of those. Send the message spawn. It'll spawn hopefully more of these blue blocks, and that is probably what was going on. Probably going wrong. But anything could happen in this game, so let's have a go. See what happens now. Come on, spawn both of them. Yes, it works. Right, I want to change the direction of character menu 2 now. It's just stopping at white home. We actually want it to stop off at white home 2. So all we do is we add in the collision detection on the white home. So we just add collision material. We just put. We better get this right, the actual name of this material, because it could have problems as we saw earlier. So go to the property, the material property of this one here. Yeah, character menu 2. We copy that over, and we paste that into the collision to make sure we get it all right. That's fine. Add the and in. Then we'll add in the message. It's going to be sent to say to change direction. So character menu 2, and we just put in collision. Now that should work fine. Okay, the next thing we need to do now is we've just got a few things to finish off here. We've got to add the text now. So when the cube goes over this to the home 2, it's going to look like it's showing up the start, the word start. We've got to make sure when the character menu 2 gets to its last destination, which is here, we want to send a message to the spawner here to actually bring in the start text. So when the player can click start and it'll start the level 1. So what we're going to do is right mouse click on white home 2 to select it again. Add a collision. So a collision with character menu 2. So we just put the material it collides with, like usual. We select that one for this purposes. Click and then we'll select it in the message. We're going to send a message to the spawner. So we're going to put it to spawn star text. Going to copy that. That's what the message is going to be as well. So we'll just make it easier that way. That's fine. Spawn start text. That's what that's called, right? Okay. So now we go to that one. And that's what that's going to do. It's going to bring in the text from the other layer. So we go to a message, so once it's received that message we just asked it to send. That in there, add this, and then we just add in a add object. So edit object, we just do add, and then we just put in start text. So that's what it is. Add the links. Okay, what we need to do now is we have to do some scripting, only a little bit. We're going to use a bit of Python. But what we're going to do is I found it on Google searched it, just a few lines, so we're going to use it. And what this is going to do is going to show the mouse up in the game. Because in this main menu, you want to be able to click to start the game. You've got to see the mouse pointer. So this is all this does, it just shows the mouse pointer. So I've got these few lines of code here. I'm going to copy this into the clipboard and I'm going to paste it into the game. So what I'm going to do is add a new script. So we're going up here, the default view at the moment. We're going to go into scripting. So in this box we just paste it in, a grey box, paste everything in here, and then we're just going to name this mouse show. Just like that. We're adding an empty or something now, so we go back out of this view into default. Add an empty in, so we just do add empty sphere. Put it over here somewhere, out of the way, that'll do. And I'll just call this mouse show, so we know what it is later on. Okay, then we're just going to have, as it's always going to show up, we're just going to add always. We'll have it as always for now. We'll add a property later and change the behaviour of it. But this time, instead of having an and, we're going to have a Python. Now the script I just pasted in and saved. I'm just going to select mouse show. So when you start the game, that's what will happen. That script, those few lines of script will actually make that mouse pointer show up. Now as the mouse is working, we actually want the start text to actually, you want it to be interactive in the scene. Because what that's going to do is it's going to load up the next level, or any level, the first level I should say. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a mouse sensor now. Add that, it's going to be a left button, and we're going to have a mouse over as well. Over the years I've learned that you have to add the two for some reason. So we add the and here. So we add the and like that, and then we link that into start scene. So we just go set scene, I should say, yeah, scene, set scene, and then we'll just go to level 1. So that's why we name these scenes right at the top here, like level 1 main menu, so we know what we've got to set. So we do that, link that up, and we'll say that. Okay, one thing I've got to do before I end this tutorial was a few things we've got to do. Just right mouse click this, spawn start text. We're going to change the orientation of this because on the last test file it faced the wrong way when the start was facing quite a slope downwards. So I'm going to change this to 45 degrees on the Z axis where it says rotation here. Right, hit where it says rotation, 45 degrees, so hit that. That'll be fine. Now we've got to add a bit more light in, as you see, because things are still a bit dark, so we could just duplicate a few things. Just put these down here. Oops. Move that across this way. Have one there. Move it across that way a bit. Could have one. Move that down a little bit. What that'll do. Duplicate that across. So we've got one over here. Yeah, that'll do. Duplicate another one actually, I'll bring it over this way. Duplicate and move it across this way a bit more. Maybe there. That'll do for now. One last thing now is we've got to get the skydome showing. I mean it shows, but what we want to do is actually have it rotating. So I'm going to join these two skydomes up. So what I'm going to do is just get out of this a minute. They're not showing up in this area because we've got to take the eyes off. On the right here they've got eyes closed, so you click on that and click on that. Makes them both show up. So we're going to shift and right mouse click on them both. We're going to join these together so they can move together. We're going to move these things so we go join. Pardon me. So it's one whole entity. The reason for that is when we start rotating these, they might rotate at different times and you see the join in between the two. So now all we've got to do is it's always going to be spinning. That's how we animate it, and we're going to have motion. We're going to rotate it on the Z-axis, do it about 0.5. And another thing we can do, we're going to view the top of it because I think it might be too big. We want it a bit closer. Hit the Z-axis, hit the Z, sorry. Yeah, and look at where the actual the level is of the camera. We don't want this actual sphere too massive because we won't see the sky that well, the stars or whatever. So I'm going to hit S on the keyboard to resize this. Size it down to about that. Now we view camera and the star should look nearer. Press the Z again so we can see everything. Oh, it's changed it. So we have to go into texture mode, that's it. Right, game start. There we go. Again, that's ridiculously too fast. So what we're going to do is we're just going to change the rotation speed of the skydome from 0.5 to 0.1. That will be fine. One thing that annoyed me with the camera, every time we started from that view we saw a cube drop down, so we don't need that cube whatsoever. Make sure all it is character.001. No, we don't need that one. Just delete that. Right, that is all finished. The menu should now work fine. Before I showcase it to you guys to show you how it all looks now, I just want to thank you for watching and I hope you found this video insightful along with the rest. I'm going to make some more tutorials in Blender. I'm going to continue making more levels from the game, and I do eventually want to come back to this menu actually, add another functions like enter the password so the player can just jump to whatever level they wish, wherever they've completed. They have to remember the password or write it down. It's like the old school method before you had save files, and that's what we're going to do with this game. So thank you for watching, Meddlers, and just watch the end bit if you want, and I'll see you soon. And don't forget to subscribe. See you later.